All right, just give me a sec. The Godzilla Battle Line app just did its daily update, so I just got to grab these dailies. 1 second.
You know what's sad? I spent actual real life money on the battle pass for that game. Fair enough, good battle pass. I deleted the game off my phone. I reinstalled it and lost my account. So now I've just lost all will to return to that game.
Man, you are a Battle Line rookie. You didn't save your player ID?
It's sad because it's actually not a bad game at all. It's really good.
Well, did I just hear you say that? Let's check the tapes real quick.
Yeah.
Mike, say your Godzilla mobile game's good? Yeah, it's bad at this point. The last couple weeks, every day, I just need to get on, do my daily missions.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this like 2 months ago at this point.
Yeah.
You're 2 months at least down into the rabbit hole
Yeah.
of jumping on every single night before bed, playing for half an hour.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That adds up.
It does.
Hold on, what is this? 10 times 60.
Please don't do this. This isn't good.
10 hours straight over the past 2 months. That's not much, to be fair.
10 hours playing Godzilla Battle Line. But hey, I've got the new Ghidorah player icon, so worth it.
Is it worth it?
Worth it. I've got the Evangelion monsters from Evangelion, which I've never even seen, so it's worth it.
I had those too, man. Not anymore. Down the drain.
How have you been anyway? We're recording online because you currently have COVID.
Second time, baby.
Better or worse than the first?
It's better. Last time I had like the sorest throat. I couldn't even swallow. Now I'm fine. I just have the worst cold and cough. So if I'm coughing or making weird mouth noises like I apparently always do on here, Jason made a point to tell me that I make the weirdest mouth noises. I still don't know what that means.
Oh, you make weird mouth noises. I wonder if anyone else picks up on it. The amount I need to edit out of this podcast. Oh my goodness.
Give me a
The
weird
amount
mouth
of
noise.
work. It's like a you just did it. I don't know if I picked it up, but like a can you hear that? No, it's more high
Seriously,
pitched
I'd
than
be a
that.
great ASMR streamer, artist.
Is that why people listen to ASMR? For good mouth noises? I thought it was like for spit and spittle and
Oh my gosh,
I don't think that's
know.
why you listen to that kind of stuff, is it?
I make mouth noises. It's up to you, the viewers, to decide if they're good or bad.
Let us know, Podzilla ASMR channel. We might be able to do it.
Everybody, it has been a bye week. Welcome back to Podzilla, the podcast where we go through every single Godzilla and Godzilla adjacent movie, and today actually TV series in order of release date. I'm Micah, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Jasha, your other co-host. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode. We're talking about a little-known Toho TV show called Zone Fighter. Came out in 1973. And we watched it, all 26 episodes, because Godzilla, Gigan, and King Ghidorah all feature in it. And we'll get into that more a little bit soon. But first off, it's good to have you back. Thanks for checking in. This is our last official episode for 2022. What a year.
Oh, what a year.
But
it has been but a year.
Oh, no. But it's actually, it feels good. We're ending the year. We're ending the show series soon enough over the next couple of episodes. So exciting times.
What are we at now? Like a year and a bit? A year and a few months?
Yeah, of the show in general. So thank you all so much for just coming with us on this wild journey, wild year and a bit. It's been super fun to do this. We're looking forward to 2023.
Yeah. And this week, we're jumping once again back into the trend of, what are they called? The humanoid kaiju heroes that can grow and shrink at will.
Kyodai hero shows.
The Kyodai heroes. We've had a few of these so far.
Yeah.
We've done 2 on TV shows, Godman and Green Man.
Yep.
Jet Jaguar in Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Yeah.
And now Toho's still capitalizing on these Kyodai heroes with Zone Fighter.
Yeah, and again, we went over this a little bit in the previous episodes, but Ultraman is out at this point in release order that we're going through. Ultraman has been released. Japan's going crazy for Ultraman, and Toho is just wanting a little bit of that glory. So I still really need to watch Ultraman. If anything, watching these shows, watching Zone Fighter has just made me really want to get into the actual like Ultraman series, the actual Ultraman episodes.
Right, I've been reading some reviews of Zone Fighter, and a lot of them I see, and even some people in our Discord have said that the best Zone Fighter episodes are like low tier Ultraman episodes.
Yeah, yeah, and the best Zone Fighter episodes are pretty engaging and enjoyable. So, yeah, that makes me only more excited for Ultraman somewhere down the line.
That's right.
But before we actually get into things, I just wanted to do a quick plug for a good friend of the show, Ian Layden. They recently started off a new podcast called What Was Your Favorite Part, or WWYFP, and I'm guest starring on an episode this week. So, this coming Friday of release,
Yeah.
December 23rd, I'm over on What Was Your Favorite Part, talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Swan Song. So go and check out Ian's podcast. I put the link in the show notes, but it's a really cool idea for a podcast. They kind of just have a different guest on every episode and discusses with that guest a film that means a lot to them and why it means a lot to them. And they talk about, yeah, we talk about our favorite parts in the movie. So it was really cool. Go and check it out. Swan Song's an amazing movie if you haven't already watched it. But yeah, I'll chuck that in the show notes.
Yeah, it's a great concept for a podcast because you get to hear so many different views and ideas and hear so many thoughts of people who just love entirely different genres of things. I haven't seen Swan Song, but Jasha has been going at it nonstop for the past few weeks, ever
Yeah.
since I found out about this episode. So might give it a listen soon, along with you guys, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I mean, movies at their very basic form are just vehicles to tell a story, storytelling vehicles. And I mean, stories are meant to be shared with together, with friends, with family. So yeah, I just really love the idea of friends sharing stories that mean a lot to them. So check it out, WWYFP. But this episode, we are going full on into Zone Fighter, which we mentioned before, 1973. Episodes directed by Ashiro Honda and Jun Fukuda, legends.
My man,
Legends.
my men.
Mike is men. Micah, did you want to take us into Zone Fighter?
In the vast universe, far away from the Earth, Peaceland, the planet of peace, had its peace shattered in an instant by the ambitions of Garoga, the planet of evil. Peaceland was annihilated. The Peacelandians who lost their home and refuge had no choice but to board Pandora capsules, one per family, to become the Meteor Men, searching for a peaceful planet once again. Meanwhile, the Garoga set the Earth as their next target and built the Space Fortress, launching Terror Beast missiles to the Earth. One capsule and his family of Meteor Men made landfall on Earth, and now they fight the Garoga as new citizens of Earth itself. The name of the family is Zone, the Meteor Men. The Zone family, also known as the Sakimori family, and their three children, Akira, Zone Jr., Hotaru, Zone Angel, and Hikaru, Zone Fighter himself, use the Zone Fight power to defend Earth. Occasionally, when help is needed, the King of Monsters himself, Godzilla, will appear. Zone Fight Power!
Thanks for that, Micah. Thank you. That was almost like that is word for word, isn't it? Like the
Pretty
intro
much,
to
yeah.
every single Zone Fighter episode.
Can I just start off by saying this show, it feels like the show that I would have absolutely loved to watch every Saturday or Sunday morning in front of the TV with my little bowl of Fruit Loops in hand. Me and Jaisha used to watch with our dad quite regularly, actually, a few older shows. MacGyver's one of them, Knight Rider's another, even some of the more puppeted shows like not Atlan, the submarine one.
Yeah, was it Stingray, Captain
Stingray, yeah.
Scarlet, Joe 90, Thunderbirds?
This feels very much in the similar vein to all those shows, with, you know, all the visual effects, even old with all the different suits and animation types they use, with the kind of sometimes B tier, C tier acting. If you took me back to a younger age, this would have been all up in my
All up in your grill? All up in your. This
grill.
would have been.
I don't
This
know
would have
where
been
I
your
was
thing.
going.
This would have been your thing.
This would have been my jam, is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
No, I'm completely with you. It's a pretty crazy show because the premise, as you summed up just before, for pretty much every episode, is we see the Zone family and they're just hanging out doing something. They might be going to the beach. They might just be enjoying a family dinner. And then the evil Garoga aliens, out of the blue, launch some sort of attack or harebrained scheme and send a giant monster to Earth that the Zone family need to defeat. But yeah, that's pretty much the the plot for most episodes. But then it just gets so much wackier. Like, sure, there's giant monsters, but then in some episodes they have to perform live cornea transplants, and in other episodes they've got like a gang of kids in their neighborhood all getting hypnotized that are going around just beating people up. Like, it gets really, really wacky. And then on top of that, you've got Zone Fighter being best friends with Godzilla,
Yeah.
who apparently like lives in a cave and just fights with Zone Fighter playfully and is friends all the time, and then just comes in to save the day. It's really wacky.
Yeah, I was joking with you before, like especially the scenes and episodes with Godzilla in. You could take clips and make GIFs out of any of those scenes, upload them to, I don't know, the Godzilla Reddit page, and nobody would have any clue where the heck you got them from. But they're so iconic. It's literally like Godzilla coming out of a tomb that looks like where Jesus rose from on the third day. Godzilla's
Yeah, it's
coming back to life.
Godzilla.
And that would look so out of place. Yeah, it's weird. I'm thinking back to the episodes where like all of the toys in the city come to life and start attacking all the humans.
Yeah.
This series goes some real wacky places. Uh, Many thanks to Jun Fukuda, who you said directed quite a lot of these episodes.
Yeah, it's really cool just when you realize like how connected to Godzilla this is, because no one's really heard of Zone Fighter. This has hardly any ratings or reviews on IMDb or even Letterboxd. You search up for like trivia about it online, or you search up for details, and it's nowhere. And I think it's partly because this whole show has never been officially released by Toho in English, has never been officially released outside of Japan. So fans have actually gone ahead and fan subbed the whole thing. So thank you so much to everyone who went and did that. That's the
Mm.
reason we got to watch the show and enjoy it. But it is a huge shame because it's like it's a full-on Showa era show. It's got all the feels of the recent Godzilla movies we've been watching. It's got a whole lot of the same creative team. Yeah, exactly. Jun Fukuda directs a whole lot of episodes. Ashiro Honda's back for a whole lot of episodes.
Mm.
Godzilla appears in every 3 or 4 episodes. King Ghidorah, Gigan make huge appearances. And yeah, it's just got really campy fun characters, villains, and it's just a huge shame that first off, not many people know about it or have checked it out. And second off, that they haven't really done anything else past this point with the Zone Fighter character or monsters.
There were 26 episodes all up in this series.
Yeah.
Two of them were two-parters, but I believe this show ran for like 6 to 8 months on television, but it ended up getting cancelled and slashed right after those 26 episodes because of poor ratings. The last episode doesn't really have any kind of grand conclusion to the series or the plot that it was trying to create.
No.
So you have this quite a cool idea for a series, in my opinion, with this alien family coming to Earth and having to protect it from all of these giant kaiju which are being thrown at them, that doesn't have a conclusion just because the people watching it never really found it too engaging.
Yeah, it's just a huge shame. And it's really cool watching it after covering Go Godman and Go Green Man, because Go Godman is like minutes long episodes of a giant superhero beating up monsters. That's all there is to the story.
Hmm.
Green Man, Go Green Man, adds a little bit of plot, a little bit of plot, and then he fights the monster, and then it all wraps up. And this is kind of like the natural progression where, sure, there's a monster fight every single episode, but it actually has really cool story and actually has really memorable characters. And I know this is probably what Ultraman does, and we're at a real loss watching this without watching Ultraman because we can't
We'll
really
get to it. We'll
compare the
get to it.
two. We'll get to it. But something I really loved about Zone Fighter that Didn't happen in any of those other Kyoto Hero shows. I don't even know if it happens in Ultraman, but it's just the family dynamic that Zone Fighter has.
Yeah.
The whole show is just built around this family of Peacelandians who had to leave their planet, kind of like Superman, and are here undercover on Earth, saving us. We don't even know what's going on. We don't even know that every other day the Earth's being attacked by aliens. But the Zone family are making it so that we never need to know, and they just save the day, save the Earth, save humanity every single episode. But yeah, it's really really cool because there's the three main members of the family. Hikaru, who is Zone Fighter, our main hero.
Hikaru.
Hikaru, there we go. Hikaru, who is our main hero. Then we have Hotaru,
Hotaru, yeah. Hotaru.
Hotaru, and she is Zone Angel, kind of like our secondary character. And then we have Akira, Zone Junior, who's this little kid of the family that also dons a Zone outfit and helps out. But then, even apart from them, we've got the appearance. We've got a granddad called, is he Zone Great?
Zone Great, yeah.
Zone Great. We've also got another couple of characters that show up here and there. We've got like a good friend of the family. What was his name?
Bro, Joe Takaru?
Joe.
Come on, he's the coolest.
Every few episodes, Joe just gets in trouble or gets kidnapped, and that's how
Gets
the whole
hostage,
plot
yeah.
goes. Yeah, but it's just really, really cool because you spend a whole lot of time with this family, and you see all the interactions with one another. It's really clever as well because they're able to not just get us bored with focusing on Zone Fighter every episode. Some episodes, it's mainly about Zone Junior, Akira,
Mm.
and just his random exploits with his friends. And some episodes, it's based around Zone Angel, Hotaru, and her friends. So it's actually really, really clever, and it lends itself to a lot of creativity and just different stories.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts was, again, with the family dynamic. You have all these different characters and personalities in them. But yeah, like you said, for some episodes, you don't even focus on Zone Fighter too much, our main man, Hikaru. You're focusing on Akira and how one student, one classmate of his, is actually taking drugs from the Garoga, turning him
Yeah.
into a brain dead, super smart, super strong little 9-year old. And that's so out of left field for what you'd expect if you were just to focus on the main, I don't know, 20 something year old character.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because in that way it is quite unlike things that we've watched for the shows so far, and it is. I think that's why it made us think of things like Knight Rider and MacGyver, just because every episode there's a very different story, and I really love that. Like it's even kind of like reminded me of X Files, just how you have different directors
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
in, different writers coming in, and every episode is like imbued with different. I don't know, a different flow and a different feel to it, like this had.
No, yeah. It's real cool. Like in one of the latter episodes, I think it was episode 20 something, you have this whole plot line where most of the people in Tokyo are being disillusioned, and where they actually are and what they're interacting with is totally different from what they're experiencing. So you have all of these kids going into a junkyard and hurting themselves, believing it's some kind of wonderful garden, and that they're playing. What game were they playing, Jasha?
Uh, baseball?
Yeah, baseball. That's the one. Believing they're having like the coolest baseball games, and then they're bringing this whole plot thread of the Zone family having these glasses which can see reality, can
Yeah.
see and pierce through the fake visions they're having, and it felt very reminiscent of the old They Live movie back in the day.
Yeah, man. Did John Carpenter see Zone Fighter? This is like.
But yeah, you have this is such a great opportunity for, and I think this is why this show appeals to me, is because it's a very family oriented series. You have episodes like that where it's more kid focused and the kids can enjoy it. You have other episodes where it's a struggle between Hikaru, uh, his job or his occupation in the movie is a race car driver. You have episodes where he's fighting and struggling alongside a competitor of his who gets to race the new car in the Grand Prix, and a story of betrayal and trust. You get both sides of the coin with this show, and I loved it.
It's really cool. And not every episode is like that, sadly, but there are definitely some gems. And it does get quite old that like the Garogas, every single episode, have just some crazy scheme and crazy idea. and then they get defeated pretty much in the exact same way. And then they decide to send in a monster, and then that doesn't work in the exact same way. And they get so many chances to like kill the Zone family, but they have to explain their mastermind plan first and give them some time to escape. So it does get very old,
Yeah, yeah.
some aspects, but other aspects are quite rewatchable and fun.
Jason, do you want to give me a quick Garogan scheme, if you remember one?
Yeah, so many. I mean, we already mentioned that they're giving drugs to kids, but there's just one episode when the Garogas have this. I won't even say clever idea. They have this idea that one of them, the Red Garoga, who's possibly one of my
This is
favorite
Jason's favorite
characters,
character.
he
Yeah.
just he's like the guy who just comes up with all the ideas. But the Red Garoga decides to go undercover as a creepy old man, and so the big Garoga scheme that episode is this creepy old man is going to go around inviting little kids to come over to his house to look at his model trains. And then,
That's the whole
and
episode.
then yeah. So this creepy old man invites some kids around, and then they kidnap the kids, and then they use the kids' DNA and bones and I don't know. They just use the kids to create some sort of huge kaiju and then hide the kids in the head of that kaiju. And then Zone Fighter needs to fight this kaiju, but he can't kill it or hurt it because hurting it will kill and hurt the kids.
Yeah,
So, it's a tricky plan.
yeah. This is a fun one. Episode 20, featuring Goram, the kaiju. I think he's based off a golem type creature.
Yeah.
He has two heads, and they specifically said, "Zone Fighter, you can't hurt him because his body cells are made from children."
Yeah. What an idea, right? Is it genius? It might be.
Scary, man.
Yeah, but there's some wild ideas. This is going to be hard to kind of talk about because we watched a whole show. We're going to try talking about the whole thing in this episode. 26 episodes in total for the show, all like 24, 25 minutes long each.
Yeah, around that 25-minute mark.
Should we just talk about like? Did you have a favorite episode from the whole bunch that you wanted to talk about?
A favorite episode? Oh, man. I can't actually remember the specific episode or even the kaiju in it. But there was definitely one near the start of the series, and I think it's one of the ones that drew me into Zone Fighter, where you have Hotaru, uh, Zone Angel. She ends up finding a random person in the wild while she's doing some photography, who suddenly tries to kill her, and they have a little scuffle. And after that, she actually realizes that he is a Peacelandian as well. And from there, it goes into this really cool story, I think, where you have this one family of the Meteor Men. The Meteor Men is what they call all the people who left Peacelandia?
Peaceland. Yeah.
Peace, all the people who
All
left.
the Peacelandians are called Meteor Men, but then are also called Zone, even though that's not their actual name.
It's a bit hazy.
Sakimoris? Sakimoris? I don't know. Who knows?
The people who leave and try to find new planets are called the Meteor Men. But this new character is also a Meteor Man, and they thought they were the only surviving Meteor Men, but now comes along this other character who recalls about the struggles they underwent when trying to face the Garogas and escaping their planet, and how they finally come to peace on Earth. I think this was the same episode with the storyline about the robots and toy kids coming to life.
Yeah, I've actually got here. I think it was episode 4, and that was actually the one Godzilla first appears in as well.
Yeah. Oh, so this had Godzilla in his suit from Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yeah.
This is the kind of kiddie-ish suit, but one I really love. It also had Spyler, the kaiju. He looks kind of like a dinosaur with a huge crescent on his back. And Wargilgar. He's this red grasshopper-looking kaiju with a turret in his mouth and fire breath.
Wait, is
Uh,
this is the episode, right, where Godzilla rips one of their like one of those monsters has a huge crescent on his back, and Godzilla just rips it off and starts attacking him with it?
yep, that's Spyler, and that's Godzilla.
Spyler.
Uh, but yeah, it gives us opportunity for a real cool story about, do you believe this other person who says they've been in the same situations as you? Hotaru ends up kind of falling for him,
Mm.
but nobody else in the family trusts him, and she's the only one who believes that he's on the right path. I don't know. I think that episode kind of opened up the show to me and the kind of stories that can come from this quite unique setup. in the story. And I sadly feel like in the latter half of the series, there were less and less of those episodes that focused and brought in aspects of the wider Zone Fighter lore.
Yeah.
But I really loved that one for it. Yeah.
No, that was a good episode too. I had that down as one of the ones I loved. Another one I loved was another one based around Hotaru. It is when she gets kidnapped and the Garogans send in like a doppelganger of her back to the Zone family. And it's this real funny gag where the doppelganger, Hotaru, is with the Zone family and she makes them all poisoned coffee, but she makes them all the wrong coffee orders. Like the dad usually doesn't have milk, the kid usually has sugar with his coffee, and she mucks it all up. It's just got heaps of funny moments in that app. But I think my favorite one, I don't know what episode this was. I should have put that down. But my favorite episode is one where the Garogas have this like red spider that they are sending all over the place.
The Garoga spider.
The Garoga spider, and they send it to a zoo, and it like bites a gorilla, and then the gorilla turns into a giant kaiju gorilla, and then the spider turns into a giant kaiju spider. And I think I just really loved it because it was again this real just crazy premise where the Garogas are literally sending this little spider all around Japan to just try and bite animals to attack the Zone family with. Like it's so weird, but it's so fun.
And it's a real nice montage during that episode as well, where you just see the Zone Fighter for hours upon end, just at the zoo,
Yeah, the whole family.
just looking at the giraffes and the monkeys and the hippos.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just some real like funny, memorable moments and gags throughout the whole series. And I think it is a bit of a shame because a lot of people have only watched the episodes where Godzilla or Gigan or Ghidorah appear.
Mm.
And to be honest, majority of the episodes that I liked the most didn't even include any of those characters or kaiju. Like there are just a lot of really great stories and episodes when it's just focused on the Zone family. So if you've only seen bits and pieces of the show, I'd super recommend checking out the rest of it because there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, like episodes 5 and 6 of this show, that's one of the only two-parters of the series focusing on Super Terror Beast King Ghidorah. Uh, and while it's so awesome to have, uh, I don't know whether it's King Ghidorah or King Ghidorah anymore.
I think it's Ghidorah in like Japan. That's how they say it. But I think us in the West just butcher all the names. I think we call it King Ghidorah or Ghidorah. I don't know.
I'll continue to butcher it. Yeah, but that episode, like, it's cool to have King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah there. But sadly, I can't remember too much of what happens on the human side of things.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, like totally. That's one of the those are some of the worst episodes in the whole show, in my opinion. But King Ghidorah's in it, which is cool. But yeah, it's just it is a huge mixed bag, so it's definitely worth watching a lot of it or going through the whole show.
I will point out as well, there's one episode, episode 11. This is the episode with Gigan in.
Yeah,
And this is such a wild episode. I didn't realize because I think you've mentioned that Gigan doesn't actually return for a long, long while in the main Godzilla movies.
yeah,
And it's because he canonically dies in
yeah.
this Zone Fighter episode.
Canonically, Gigan meets his demise at the hands of Zone Fighter and just gets completely destroyed by him. So it's actually official, and supplementary material issued by Toho says that Zone Fighter takes place directly after Godzilla vs. Megalon and before Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And Gigan in particular was captured by the Garogas directly after fleeing from Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. So Gigan's just picked up by the Garogas after fleeing the battle at the end of Godzilla vs. Megalon, and he gets sent to fight Godzilla in Zone Fighter, and then he dies. And that's the end of Gigan.
Yeah, it's weird. It's even weirder to think that not many people know about this show or the fact that there's this extended roster of kaiju, which are canon to the Godzilla story, that even Godzilla has specifically fought against himself that they
Yeah.
just don't know about.
Yeah, totally, right? There's like one of the kaiju in this is called Zendora, and he is just this huge drill, literally a huge drill bit. And Godzilla has this huge fight against him, and it's crazy. Like that's a Godzilla villain.
Nobody knows that. They just think of Mogira and Megalon, the real drill men. When it's this guy's literally from neck upwards, just one huge drill.
Godzilla rips his tail off and beats him to death with it. Like, what a memorable Godzilla moment that not a lot of people have seen.
Yeah. Um, should we go and talk about Zone Fighter himself for a bit?
Yeah, totally.
So the three Zone Fighters, Zone Fighter, Zone Angel, and Zone Junior, they have this real cool ability to, when they're in normal streetwear, they can change into their alter egos by going Zone Power Fight.
Zone fight power. That's it.
Forget I said that. I'm a true Zone Fighter fan, guys. Trust me.
I've heard it
Zone
so many
Fight Power.
times. Yeah, zone fight power.
And they get suited up into this quite cool, almost Power Ranger esque outfit. They have these cool helmets and fitted cloth over the bottom half of their faces. We need to find somebody to go and cosplay as these guys
A
would.
family, young family. Go as all three of them, right? Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. But Zone Fighter himself, Hikaru has the ability to zone double fight, where he grows to the huge size of Zone Fighter. And I don't think anybody outside of the family knows that Hikaru is Zone Fighter.
Yeah.
You have Joe Takaru coming in one episode, seeing this huge fight between Zone Fighter and one of the other kaiju. And Hikaru.
This whole thing's crazy to me. Because yeah, you've got Joe, the friend to the family, who knows that they've come here from Peaceland.
He knows they're aliens.
He knows they're aliens. He knows that they've got their superhero alter egos. He knows that evil aliens, Garogas, are here on Earth trying to kill us. But they want to keep a secret. They want to keep it a secret that Zone Fighter can grow huge and save the day.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But Hikaru can zone double fight into his huge Zone Fighter form,
Yeah.
where he becomes a proper Kyodai hero.
Yeah.
Almost like a full bodysuit, really, really cool looking, evokes the feelings of probably Ultraman is the closest to him, I'd say, or Jet Jaguar.
Yeah, totally.
But he has the ability to just wail on these kaiju. He has a bunch of meteor abilities.
Yeah, did you write all these down as we were watching through them?
I wrote every single meteor ability he did down.
Oh my goodness. Rattle them off. I want to hear these.
So he has Meteor Kick, Meteor Slice Chop, Meteor Proton Cut, Zone Barrier, Proton Beam, Spin, Reflection Barrier, Jet Punch, Freezer, Static Power, Clone Camouflage, Zone Slice, Dash. All of these are really cool because they... I don't know if any of you remember that like old Scooby-Doo... what was the show where he had the Scooby snacks and he had the special powers each episode?
Oh, you flip. Yeah, I didn't even know what show that was. One of the random spin-offs.
I want to say like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I don't know. But this show felt like that, where each episode he brings out a new ability and you're like, oh my gosh, he can do that?
Yeah.
He has two other ones. He has Meteor Windmill, which was Jace's favorite.
Oh man, he like spins around for up to 10 times. You don't know how many times he's going to spin around each episode, and then he just kicks the kaiju in the face.
That starts happening in I want to say like halfway through the series, and then they just do it almost every episode.
Yeah.
And then he also has his Meteor Missile Might, which is his, I want to say, finisher, because this only comes out after he gets halfway through the fight. He has this bar on his belly which turns red, and it indicates when he has specifically 110 seconds left of power.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a recurring plot point through the episodes that this is when Zone Junior and Zone Angel come in through Smokey, which is their...
Smokey, their rescue vehicle hidden in the clouds that they can fly up to and save Zone Fighter when he's running low.
Smokey might also be one of my favorite characters.
Man, I clapped every time Smokey came into an episode.
The episode where the Garogans stole Smokey.
Oh,
man.
I was inconsolable.
They end up coming in and doing zone marker change to kind of replenish his energy. And that happens almost every episode, so it's a real treat when the episodes subvert that a little bit.
Yeah.
And they have the enemy, knock the zone marker out of the air halfway, where there's smoke and electricity, and Smokey can't actually get to replenish him of his energy.
Yeah, it's really fun when they do that, or they are for some reason unable to recharge him, and then they're the ones who need to go and track down Godzilla or call him in as a last
Mm.
resort. Yeah, it is real fun when they just mix things up a little bit.
And that's when Zone Fighter brings out his Meteor Missile Might, his finisher, which he gets these like turret bracelets around his hands,
Round his hams. Yep.
and just starts decimating this kaiju. And the kaiju usually just explode.
Very reminiscent of, yeah, Go Godman, Go Green Man, when like Green Man would use his breaster at the end of every episode and just explode the
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah, but it's just so cool to see all of these different abilities he has. The other two have their own just classic zone abilities. Astral Dash, where they can kind of teleport to wherever they need to be. Zone Beam, Zone Barrier, Mighty Cut, Sky Jump to go into Smoky.
Old
Just
Smokey.
this whole list of really cool abilities.
Yeah, man, where is our Zone Fighter video game? Right?
We need one.
Hearing all those, it's like it's ripe for the taking. Make his own fighter video game, chuck in all these kaiju, chuck in all these abilities. I don't care whether it's like a normal fighting game or like a Mega Man style fighting game when he powers up
Oh,
and
that would be
gains a different
good.
ability and you need to knock out all the different monsters. Let's make this thing.
Imagine, because how many kaiju would there be in this game? I'd say about like 15 to 20, probably a little bit more.
Wasn't there like a new kaiju every episode, like 26?
That'd bring some back though.
Yeah, you're right.
I'd say you'd have around like 18 to 20. You
Yeah.
can make a really cool Mega Man game just trying to fight each of these and gaining their abilities as well.
Do we need to kickstart this thing? If anyone knows anything about
We
making
could.
video games, let us know. This is
Hit
this
us
is
up.
an idea. Did
That's
you have
right.
a favorite like character throughout the series? I mean, I know your love for Joe.
Dude, Joe Takaru is my absolute fave.
What did you think about the episode where Joe leaves his like toy business and starts raising chickens, and then he gets really close to this other lady who also like raises chickens, and then Hotaru comes in. She's like, "Who is this other lady?" And there's that little like love triangle for only one episode.
Yeah. Was this the episode with the actual chicken kaiju in?
Yeah,
Forget Gigan, there is an actual chicken.
yeah. Gigan is actually a goose, guys, because there's an actual chicken kaiju, and he looks like a chicken.
This was Barakidon in episode 12.
Parakidon. They
An
like
actual
refer to him
chicken.
as like the most powerful kaiju. Like he's
Yeah,
the most powerful terror beast yet. Just huge chicken dude.
that's fun. Yeah, but no, Joe, I like him because he is an outsider to the family. He doesn't have any of his own powers. You get this cool perspective of this dude who is kind of out of his element, but still just has the heart and the courage and the will to start fighting against these aliens. He ends up becoming real close friends with the Sakamoto family itself. But I don't know, there's something about him. It might be his hair, it might be his like flared pants, all color coordinated style. Something about Joe.
Might be the fact that he always tries to help out, but always ends up just being a hostage without
Yeah.
fail. He wasn't even in the
Dude,
last episode, was he?
no, I was sad about that. I thought the last episode would bring everybody together, but it really didn't pull together any plot threads.
They cancelled the show before we got to see more Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sad.
that's sad. Dude, who is your favorite character? Not counting Smokey, of course.
Smokey. Smokey, the inanimate ship that literally just flies out of the clouds. Yeah, it might be Smokey. No, it's I don't know. I really like the whole Zone family. I really liked Zone Great, just the granddad who
Oh,
just always like has these ingenious ideas. He always loves just coming out and helping out on the battlefield whenever he can. But it's just a real shame that the parents and him, Zone Great, don't get as much screen time or character as the kids.
yeah, they're quite underused and I'd say underappreciated, aren't they?
Yeah, it would have been cool to have, yeah, like episodes centered around them sometimes instead of just them popping in for a minute here or there. But I think my actual favorite is Akira Zone Jr., just because he's this little kid who's always super duper happy and excited and wants to save the day. He's always like, yeah, he's, he's always the perfect little kid. He always just dons his costume, does some crazy kicks and rolls and then shoots people. I don't know why this 9-year-old has a gun and is killing these people every other day, but yeah, I liked him, Akira.
Akira has ranked up a higher kill count than I have done in any video game ever.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
He's an
No,
alien. We'll let him off.
no, I get what you mean. So you have Yoichiro Sakimori and Tsukiko Sakimori. They're the parents of the family. If I were thinking about ways that I would improve this show, I'd definitely try bring them a bit more into the spotlight of some episodes. Like you have the mother. Sadly, I cannot think of anything she does other than just appear bringing a plate of food for the family whenever they're discussing about the Garogas.
Or bringing some drinks for them all. Yeah, she has no character, and she's just like a very stereotypical mother in the household, which is a shame.
Yeah, because I feel like you have the opportunity to use this whole family to its fullest extent, and you don't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, the whole strength of the show is the family. So it's yeah, an absolute shame that it didn't go as far into that as they could have.
Hmm.
Let's talk a little bit more about the actual monsters as well, because Zone Fighter, he's cool. I guess he is kind of a kaiju, or at least a kaijin. I don't really know.
Hmm.
But Godzilla's in this every couple of episodes, and yeah, he's great. Straight out of Godzilla versus Megalon, same suit. The eyes move around this time. He has eyelids, like I think that was broken while they were filming Godzilla versus Megalon. So yeah, he's really great. And he's just really, really goofy and funny in this. Like, if you thought that he wasn't Godzilla in Godzilla versus Megalon, he's a completely different character here. He's sparring with Zone Fighter, he's rolling around, he's like running. There's that scene when he comes out of his cave that
He's
he's supposedly
sprinting.
living in. Yeah, and he just sprints. I've never seen any kaiju in any of these movies run faster than Godzilla does in this. He's just breaking parts of monsters off. He's doing these wild, crazy attacks, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of fun.
His hands shaking Zone Fighter. Like you said, I believe a whole plot point is that him and Zone Fighter become sparring buddies and they train together whenever they're not
Yeah,
facing dangerous threats.
I think Godzilla in this is officially referred to as the monster of justice.
Ooh,
Godzilla's the monster of justice. We need to call him.
that's a good title.
Yeah, so he's complete good guy,
Yeah,
all around good guy. Godzilla here to save the day.
the Zone family can call on him. This whole show has a really weird. It definitely leans into Jun Fukuda's style. Uh,
Yeah,
like in this latter episodes, I think there was one with this crazy dinosaur called Gandargyrus.
yeah, Kantakiris.
This was the other two-parter where you barely have Zone Fighter and Gandargyrus fighting against each other. Instead, I'll just say there's this whole plot line of Gandargyrus ingesting the world's newest, most dangerous form of energy that can explode at any moment. It's vulnerable to static and magnetic shocks. A Comet K, is coming in from the atmosphere. It's
Oh
going to
my
crash, letting
gosh,
off
the tension.
magnetic shots. It's probably going to explode all of Tokyo if they don't do something. Uh, and the way that they stop Gandargyrus is not by fighting him.
Well, you can't. The bomb will go off, right?
No, exactly. Instead, Zone Fighter comes up with the ingenious idea to just play games with him.
Yeah. Zone Fighter plays rock, paper, scissors with Gandargyrus. He fences with him. And Gandargyrus loses both of these games and still doesn't want to go away or give Zone Fighter the bomb. So Zone
Don't
Fighter,
forget the horseshoe throwing.
yeah, the last resort, he challenges him to a game of ring toss. Zone Fighter pretty much loses the game and is not a fair sport. He goes and just wails on Gandargyrus and kills him, even though Zone Fighter loses.
He doesn't even win. They both tie.
Well, Zone Fighter barely ties. He didn't even get the ring on the stick. He like the ring's like balancing like half on the stick. I wouldn't count it.
Yeah.
Zone Fighter, come on, man, you're better than this.
So I'll throw this to you, Jasha. Which was your favorite Zone Fighter original kaiju?
Oh, so many of them are so random. Do you have a list of these too?
Yeah, I have a list of all of them. There's too many to count, so I'm not going to say them all.
Yeah, look them up. Pretty much every episode there's another kaiju, but my favorite is Belgaris, I think his name was, and he's kind of like this white Tyrannosaurus Rex looking creature
I
who
know the one.
lives, yeah, he lives on some sort of planet in space. So Zone Fighter needs to go and fight him on a planet, this big space battle. But Balgaris, this crazy thing about him is, yeah, he's like a dinosaur, but he can roll up into a ball, a floating ball that has this weird humanoid face on it.
Yeah, it's almost like the way not a centipede. What do you call sladers in the US or other countries?
I think they're still
Roly
Slaters, right?
polies?
Is that what they're called? No way.
They're called roly polies, yeah.
No.
He's kind of like a roly poly dinosaur. He looks insanely cool.
Yeah, he looks cool. A bit goofy when you see his nose and eyes when he's rolled up. But this guy, when he gets killed, initially, he just turns into a whole lot of diamonds and then reforms back into himself. And then when he gets killed for the final time, he explodes. And then the place where he died, a cross, like a Christian cross, all glittery with diamonds, raises itself out of the ground, and then a floating halo appears on top of the cross.
This threw me for a loop because it's not just like a normal cross. This is a Christian cross with a shimmering halo, the size of a kaiju, just erects itself on the moon, on this planet.
Somehow he's got an ability to like create his own grave and a halo on top of it. A floating halo mid-air above this cross when he dies. Who is this guy? Balgaris. I love him. Put this guy up against Godzilla. Chuck, give him his own movie. Give him his own series.
I will say, this is episode 17, right?
I think so. It's one of the latter ones.
So this is from the episode Go Fighter Scramble, directed by Jun Fukuda.
Oh, my man. Of course.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if they were trying to get across some sort of religious or otherwise message, but this just threw us for a loop when we saw it.
It's so. I don't understand it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Who was your favorite?
Oh, I actually legitimately don't know here.
I could mention real quick as well. King Ghidorah. We said that he does make an appearance in this. He is completely controlled by the Garogas, following the trait of him just being controlled by aliens every time we see him. But he doesn't get killed, which is unusual for a kaiju in all of these episodes. Most of them usually explode. King Ghidorah just kind of disappears and teleports away because they can't kill him off. We all know in the 90s is when Destroy All Monsters is set, where he actually dies.
Oh, of course.
So that's King Ghidorah. And then Gigan, we mentioned already, he gets killed by Zone Fighter. But Gigan's very interesting in this because he flies in like he usually does, but this time he's aided by parachutes, which is a bit strange. And then he has this real crazy scene where he gets killed by Godzilla. And then he uses his ninja arts to resurrect himself. Literally, the subtitles say Gigan uses the revival technique from his ninja arts, and then he comes back to life for Zone Fighter to kill him. But Gigan, who knew he had ninja arts and was able to revive himself? What's going on?
I don't know.
Gigan's a
Gigan is
ninja?
so
What?
much cooler than I ever thought. He's undergone severe training day after day. I don't know.
When? He was
I don't
taken straight from Megalon to this.
Hey, you don't know what happened in the planet that he came from with the cockroach people.
The Nebula M planet? That's it, right?
The nebulous space I don't know.
Yeah, he's just chucked into like a gladiator ring, having to learn ninja moves to survive. Honestly, that story. You decided on a favorite yet?
There are a few memorable ones. In this third to last episode, episode 24, you have a kaiju coming called Needlar.
Oh, yes.
He looks, I can't even describe how he looks. He kind of looks like a green horse head with horns wiring over his body. Quite an unremarkable kaiju. But his death scene, Zone Fighter literally cuts off his head. And then you have, I want to say, the goriest scene in any Godzilla movie.
I was shocked. Literally, this is like the goriest scene I've ever seen ever. This is a kid's show, and blood's just splurting out of this dude's head.
You have this body with a severed head with arteries just chugging blood directly at the camera. I would not let my kids watch this,
And it
Jasha.
holds on it. It just holds on it. We just watch this blood trickle out. You were saying this whole time that you were going to show your kids this no matter what, but is your mind been changed after Needler?
Your wife was in the room, and I was praying that she did not turn her eyes to the screen. No, it was fun. I'd say my actual favorite is probably Garoborg. He shows up in one episode, episode 13, and then comes in for the second to last episode, which is kind of a destroy all monsters esque
Yeah, yeah.
compilation of where all the kaiju come together to try and fight the heroes. He's called the Electronic Terror Beast, and he kind of looks like this giant ant in a spacesuit.
Kind of looks like Mars Attacks, like the aliens from Mars Attacks, if you've seen that, without their actual
Yeah,
face.
yeah. Uh, Sadly, I can't remember too much of what he does, but I remember that he has these giant, I want to say half circles covering his real squiggly looking eyes. I love his design. But over the course of the first episode, inexplicably, it doesn't say how or why, but just one of those discs covering his eyes fall off halfway through.
Mm.
It doesn't mention it. On his return in the second to last episode, both of them are off. It seems just like the suit's getting more and more hammered and destroyed over time, but they just refuse to acknowledge it, which I love.
Yeah, yeah. There's some really, really cool kaiju in this, and some really forgettable and lame ones. But there's
You're really
some cool
forgettable.
ones. Like there's like a giant anteater dude. Was his name Bakugan?
Bakugan the Tapir Terror Beast.
Yeah, yeah. He's just a giant tapir walking around.
He's a giant tapir. What can you say?
Yeah. Oh, what a show.
He's just a giant tapir. What can you say?
I do have just a tiny bit of trivia here as well, if we want to get into that. Not much at all. But Jun Fukuda, all up, directed 6 episodes of this, and Ashiro Honda directed 8 episodes. And this is the second to last Godzilla project that he was a part of. The next one is one of the Mechagodzilla movies that we'll be touching on soon. But it was cool just to get a little bit of their directing style uh, throughout the series. So if you haven't seen this and you're a big Godzilla fan, definitely worth checking out. And the last little thing that I have here is that no other media or no other movies or shows was made about the Zone family or the Garoga or any of the monsters until last year, where Zone Fighter, Zone Angel, and Zone Junior all appear in a really quick still that is in the Godzilla Singular Point end credits, which shows them standing in front of Kumanga getting ready to battle him, which is crazy.
Yeah, I am absolutely praying that they capitalize on the opportunity to bring the Zone family back. I think that in whether it's in like the sequel, whatever that may be, to the Godzilla Singular Point anime or their own show, I feel like this whole show had and still has the opportunity to tell some really, really cool stories. So I hope they come back to it. I really do.
Yeah, me too. It's such a cool idea for a show, and just to already have it in the Godzilla universe. Heck, just to even have that still of them fighting Kumanga, the giant spider
Yeah.
from the Godzilla universe. Like it's such a cool idea. So hopefully we see them again sometime soon. It'd be really, really cool. Uh that's it. I'm just going over my other. I just had so many random things written down. There's an episode where Zone Angel and Zone Junior catch scalpels that are being thrown at them and they chuck them back at their attackers and it lands in their eyes. People like bleeding out of their eyes with scalpels stuck in them. Again, like this is a kid show and it's just some crazy sequences. There's another time when the Garogas create like traps from the Saw movies
Yeah.
and are like getting ready to put people into them and are showing people get decapitated by them or mannequins getting decapitated by them. It's so funny. And yeah, the Garoga, they're pretty cool. I wish that we saw the Garoga again, or even had them as the villains in a Godzilla movie. They're these wacky looking aliens that just have these huge bug like eyes, this huge smile that never moves even while they talk. They have these antennae that they can take off and use as weapons. They're led by a Garoga called Gold,
Mm.
who is like the big ringleader of this their whole operation, and he just has this little like conductor wand that he's waving
A
about to
little
them,
baton.
little baton, and then yeah, Red Garoga loved him.
He's like the commander.
Yeah, the commander of the Garoga army, and then we even get White Garoga at the end, who has his little cape, comes in to save the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because thinking about it, we've seen a lot of aliens in the Godzilla franchise, but none that have not been human like.
Well, we had cockroaches, right?
Yeah, but they took the form of humans. I guess Grogans do too.
Yeah, yeah. But you're right; they look more like aliens than any of the creatures we've seen before.
Is that everything we have, dude?
That's everything.
Dude, I'm gonna ask you what you thought of the show, all in all.
I had a lot of fun with it. Like a lot of fun with it. It's very reminiscent of Godzilla versus Megalon. Some real fun stories. Some really cool monsters. I just really vibed with like the 20-minute, real fast paced, wacky story that every episode contained. Loved that Godzilla was a part of it. But again, it is like a kids show. It's very aimed towards kids. There's nothing nothing mind blowing that you're going to watch here. It doesn't look the greatest. Like all the shots look kind of like an old snuff film or something. It's just so weird.
The cinematographer was not fantastic.
No, it's so terrible. Uh, and again, I just keep questioning why this wasn't like a Jet Jaguar show, especially straight off Megalon. Why didn't they just make this Jet Jaguar and Godzilla going up against Kaiju?
Hmm.
It's a bit strange that they just chucked Godzilla in with Zone Fighter, and both of them have that same relationship that Godzilla just made with Jet Jaguar. They shake hands the same way, they do team ups the same way.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to have that whole family human aspect. But at the same time, Zone Fighter, when he's in his Zone Fighter form, doesn't really act too human anyway. It feels like they could have brought Jaguar in.
Yeah. But you're completely right. Like the family stuff is what makes this special. And it's the stuff that I really enjoyed out of the whole show. All in all, there's some episodes I really liked, and then some ones that were just really dry. I'll probably give this. I don't know. What am I even rating this one, Micah?
Yeah, Jasha, how many Zobots do you want to give Zone Fighter?
How many Zobots? What was a Zobot? It's like a little walkie-talkie device that can fly around, right?
Yeah, like they're. I don't even know. It's the device that they send off whenever they're in trouble,
Little trusty
and it just
Zobot.
flies back to home base.
Yeah.
A little Zobot.
I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5 Zobots. It is definitely worth watching. It was a good show. I enjoyed it, especially for it just being a silly kid show. I actually really enjoyed it, not being a kid. What did you think? I mean, we watched these episodes together, so we had a really fun time watching these.
Yeah. Like I said, it really evoked those feelings of watching those old shows back in the day when I was a kid. I really love the whole premise of this whole show. Uh, the whole family dynamic, I really think that's what brings. Well, that's the glue of this whole series, right? Uh, and I'd say even Zone Fighter, even the kaiju stuff takes a backseat to the Sakimori family, and I think that's in its favor. Sadly, I think that the kaiju stuff, the Terror Beast stuff, and even the Zone Fighter stuff is what lets the show down a little. We watched 26 episodes in a very short period of time. I think spaced out every week, every weekday would have been a bit better, but
I do feel a bit crazy after binging these, right?
yeah. But I think after watching them in such a short period of time, you can very much see the flaws in the repetitiveness of it. Every single episode, Zone Fighter basically does the exact same thing. He starts fighting, uh, he loses energy halfway, the others come in with their zone marker change. He gets his power back, he starts fighting them a little more. He does his meteor missile might to finish them off. Uh, I don't know. I think, like I said, they could have done so much more with this show, and I think even given a second season, they could have had the opportunity to. I think it falls in a little bit of a I want to say like a limbo, a little no man land where half the episodes really thrive off the character centric stories. Uh, but in the other half, it just becomes quite a forgettable ho hum show about kaiju that the producers and creators brought to life just for a single episode and then threw back into the Toho lot,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of those issues probably will be fixed by shows like Ultraman. Like, I can't wait to dig into those and see
Yeah,
if they are actually as good as everyone say they are, if they do fix some of the issues that Zone Fighter had.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love what we saw of the family. I think that we focus on the main three a little bit too much for such a short period of time. Bringing in the grandpa, bringing in the parents, having much more of a wider family focused story, I think would have improved the show and helped it to feel a little less stale by the end of the watch. On that note, though, I do think it is quite a fun show. I actually would recommend it, especially the non-Godzilla centric episodes. Even just to experience a little more of what the Zone Fighter name and franchise is all about. Uh, you don't appreciate it until you've seen Akira in his very short shorts and his gang of school friends with their very short shorts, all racing boats and getting toy boats thrown into each other's eyes.
Yeah. And what about that scene of that guy just crying down by the lake because he dropped his rice ball into the water? Man.
Like, yeah, there are so many memorable scenes, and I think I just wish there were more memorable scenes and a more coherent story that brought it back to its roots a little bit. Like, I know I'm going on a little bit here, but I think if you turn the show into a little more of what Doctor Who was, if you think back to Doctor Who, real crazy main characters with their main enemy, the Daleks.
Mm.
The Gorogans felt like the Daleks to me, and I think to have them come in at their fullest potential, you do need a little bit of variation between the enemies as well.
Not just them every ep.
Yeah, it gets to a point where you see a shady character and you're like, oh, well, it's a Gorogan.
Yeah.
All the mystery's lost. But yeah, all in all, I'd give this a 3 Zobots for the first half, 2.5 at the latter half. But because I'm just so in love with Joe Takano and the whole cast of characters, I'm going to give it 3 Zobots.
Wow. Wow. So the wacky, silly adventures are growing on you a little bit since Godzilla versus Megalon.
I appreciate the potential that this has.
What did you think of Godzilla in this? Because I know you weren't a fan of kind of his campy I don't know, exploits. Did you think he was okay in this? Or I guess he's not in it much. So he's always in like the
He's not
last
in the
five
match.
minutes of the episodes he even appears in the first place.
I actually don't think he's as campy as he was in the other movies.
True.
I think once you understand that Jun Fukuda's iterations of him specifically are a little more kiddie-ish and a little more lighthearted than the other iterations of him, then you start to appreciate a little bit more. So I think I'm getting in that zone.
Getting in that zone.
Getting in that zone, dude.
Zone fight power. Wow. Here we are. We did have one message from Waffles, so I'll jump into that, eh?
Zone Fighter Power. Sup, lads? It's Waffles here with another kaiju review. This time reviewing Zone Fighter. Now, I just have one complaint. There only seems to be 2 episodes of this show. Now, I tried to watch all the ones that you recommended, and it seemed to me that every episode would start with the evil bad guy aliens sending down a monster for the Zone Fighters to fight, and then either the Zone Fighter would double Zone Fighter and get really, really big, and then he would deal with the monster on his own, or the monster would be too tough and they had to call in Godzilla. Now, I'm not quite sure about anybody else. These seem to be the only 2 episodes that would play for me. Is the one where he would get really big and beat the monster on his own, or the one where he would get really big and then need to call in Godzilla for help. So unfortunately, because I could only watch 2 episodes of the show, I am going to be docking points, and so unfortunately, this show only gets 5 meteorite missiles out of 5. I know that's a low score coming from me, but it's an otherwise good show, and I had lots of fun watching it. So I'd recommend to anybody in the audience who hadn't seen it to hunt it down and check it out, because it was so much fun. Just an amazing sort of nostalgic, bring you back to like Saturday morning cartoons. Just so good. But unfortunately, because it did only really seem to play 2 episodes for me, it's 5 meteorite punches out of 5. So what are you gonna do? Bye.
That's a pretty harsh rating for Waffles.
Waffles is becoming like a real reviewer with these, right? He's going down harsh on all the
Critiquing
negatives.
hard.
Yeah, real critic. He's so right, though. When you get down to the bare bones of Zone Fighter, there are just a handful, 2 or 3 storylines that they just inject a few little twists and turns into, but they're all essentially the same plot. Either Zone Fighter can do it himself or he needs a little help. I think that is us for the bye week, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and have a great Christmas. This is our last release until Christmas, unless you are part of our Patreon. So join in, links in the show notes, patreon.com/Podzilla, where you can get a little Christmas commentary track from us Christmas Day. You can wake up, check your podcast feed before you open up any presents, and you'll get a little mystery commentary from us over on the Patreon. So jump into that. But officially, next up on the show, early January, we're jumping back into the Godzilla movies with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla with our friends over at the Final Draft. They're both jumping in to guest on the show. And I'll just give us a little tease for that. A prophecy that foretells the destruction of Earth is seemingly fulfilled when Godzilla emerges to return to his destructive roots. So, oh man, what happens to Godzilla after Zone Fighter?
This is what happens when the whole fan base starts to riot because of Jun Fukuda's work.
Yeah, they cancel Zone Fighter, and then Godzilla's returning to destroy the world in a prophecy, right?
I'm looking forward to this. Mechagodzilla is such a prolific part of the whole Godzilla narrative, and I've never seen or understood how it starts. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about the Toho Big Four before, being Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, but a lot of times it's actually referred to as the Big Five, and they tag Mechagodzilla onto the end there. So it's with our Infinity Gauntlet of Godzilla characters is finally going to be complete with this next movie.
That's right. And having the Final Draft boys for 2 episodes?
Yeah, because they're jumping on back to back for Terror of Mechagodzilla 2 weeks after the next episode as well. So we're excited. We hope that you guys are too. And we hope that you have a very, very Merry Christmas surrounded by family. Just like Zone Fighter, right? Family's the most important thing. Family and friends and fun and, maybe chucking a scalpel in someone's eye every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm going to go and listen to some Christmas music, specifically the Zone Fighter theme song.
We've got a lot of Christmas memories watching Zone Fighter around this time, so that might become a tradition, right?
Whoa, dude, save the handshakes for later.
That's been Podzilla with your hosts, Jaysha
And Micah Drake. Follow along on our socials at PodzillAPod and jump into our Discord via the link in the show notes.
Huge thank you to Cassie Celine, who did our podcast art, and Dagora9898, who did our episode thumbnail.
Let's go. And just a disclaimer that any musical sound effects used in this episode belong entirely to the Toho company. See you guys next episode.
ガロガの野望をぶち破れ行け行けゾーンゾーンファイト流星に